Greetings, and good evening. Welcome to a very special program that has been very dear to us. And this is season 2 of Full Disclosure. We are so very grateful that we have been afforded yet another time and another opportunity to use this medium to have a program like this. We are very grateful for the services of Tobago Updates, affording us members of the executive such a platform where we can engage in meaningful conversation regarding the governance of Tobago, regarding what's taking place in the various divisions, regarding what's taking place on the political landscape, the current affairs. I am your host, Terrence Baines, and tonight promises to be a very informative session. It promises to be an enlightening session, a comprehensive one at that, with the time that we have allotted to us. And we are inviting you to, share the live with a friend and with somebody, and let's get into some meaningful conversation. My guest tonight is the venerable Secretary Trevor James. Yes, Trevor Williamson James will be guesting with us tonight, and we've got a whole lot to talk about. We take a break, and we'll come back shortly.
I'm Roxanne Hepburn, the Managing Director of La Marche Parfait Day Spa. And now guess what? We're in Tobago, and we are so excited to serve Tobago. La Marche Parfait Day Spa Tobago will be open to the public from Monday the 5th. Some of the services that you can access would be infrared body steam, spa parties, body treatments, massages, pedicures, manicures, waxing, carbiation, radio, and lipo slimming and cellulite wrap treatment. We are located at number 1 Main Road, Barrington's Court, Bonaccord Village.
If you see or know about a crime, report a crime safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. You can play your part safely and anonymously. Report a crime. Earn a reward. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime. Be a hero, champion, fearless citizen. Be a crime stopper safely and anonymously. Call 800-TIPS. Help stop crime.
This is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. Everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look out below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look out below, 'cause this is your show.
Welcome back, viewers, and this is Full Disclosure Season 2. And if you're now joining us, I am your host, Secretary Terrence Baines, and with me tonight is Secretary Trevor James, Secretary for Infrastructure and Quarries and a whole lot of other stuff that are very interesting. Before we jump into to the conversation. Welcome, sir. Welcome.
Thank you, Secretary Baines. Thanks for having me on season 2, the premiere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, I want to commend Tobago Updates for the expansion and for the evolution and all of that, moving into a full television station with 24-hour programming. That is my understanding, and I am very, very happy that the management has seen it fit to add full disclosure to the programming and so on, especially now in this new season as the station moves into this new dimension and so on. We are very, very thankful for that. So we are jumping right in tonight, and of course we encourage those of you that are joining us to share your live with a friend, somebody that you think this program will be of benefit to. I should think all Tobago should be included in this. We also want to say that because it is interactive, meaning that there's a live stream taking place and people share comments, and so we will expect that the commentary will be respectful. We will expect, that the commentary will be in accordance with what you expect for yourself, and so on. So our theme tonight is war against the THA, war against Tobago. And we have a lot to ventilate. There's a lot that's happening in the space, a lot of things on the political landscape, a lot of things taking place on the governance landscape, a lot of exciting things taking place in the various divisions across the THA. I think Tobago is abuzz with activity on all these fronts, and we want to jump into that to that conversation. And I'm very happy to have Secretary James, a gentleman, in my view, that has a wealth of knowledge and have a very shall I say, a kind of crystallized grasp on the politics of the day and all the other attendant issues. Secretary James, I'm very, very happy that you are here. And let's first talk about this theme, your introductory remarks, a theme like this.
Well, I have been around the politics for a long time, Pastor Baines. And after the Chief Secretary's statement in the House today, what comes to mind is that election of 1976-77, when Tobago, after the death of APT, voted against the PNM for the first time again. And I was still a young fellow now, after common entrance going to secondary school. And my second memory of the PNM is the PNM disbanding the Ministry of Tobago Affairs, failing to pay Tobago public servants for 3 to 4 months. And I had to stay home for those months because there was just no money coming into the house to pay transport coming into Scarborough. And I think in terms of the war against Tobago, I think that's where it started. When we vote against the PNM, the PNM takes a decision to punish Tobago voters for doing their rightful thing and making a choice in the politics that is not them. That is what we are seeing today. Okay. Today it's more acute because we now have social media and everything is instant, and everything that happens comes to the fore. And so every action that the government of Tobago, the THA, our administration take, the central government and the PNM seems to be against it. Anything to do with development, they seem to be against it. The issue of the chief ad is setting the foundation so that Tobagonians will not be paid. That the monies that come through the ministry, that comes through CAS, cannot be legally sent to the THA, and therefore we will fourth quarter disbursements might be in jeopardy.
Right. So this is deja vu, as it were.
Well, in a sense, deja vu, but deja vu times 10.
Yeah, right. And no, it's an interesting point that you are making, and I didn't make that connection. Now that you're saying that really it is the same game, just different players.
Absolutely.
You
Well,
know?
it's the playbook of the PNM.
Mm-hmm.
The playbook of the PNM is that you vilify, you emasculate, you assassinate any character that comes against you.
Mm-hmm.
They did it with Robinson when he left in 71. They did it against APT. APT was the ugliest man apparently in Tobago because he didn't support the PNM. They've done it against Kamla. They've done it against Hotroy.
Right.
Anybody who opposes them, their first action is to try to turn the public against that person for their personality, who they are, what they have accomplished, what they've done.
Yes.
To set the foundation. Tobagonians have waited a long time for this change. The change has, we've become a fresh air in this space in Tobago. And when we succeed,
Yes.
It may signal the end of the PNM.
Yes.
If I'm to read the politics in Trinidad correctly, the whole movement of UNC members to the PNM is all part of the PNM strategy to try to buy East Indian votes and so on, and UNC votes.
Yes,
in order to try to survive, possibly with 32 Tobago
right,
seats.
because they have had this pride in their organization and so on, that there are some areas that they won't venture at all, some that they wouldn't welcome in. But I see a change in more recent times, in open arms, as it were. So the PNM, the Prime Minister leading the charge with this olive branch, as it were, to anybody that seems to want to come. So we talking tonight about this war, and when we talk about a war, I am fully convinced in my mind that we are at war. You are convinced. Most of us are convinced. One of the first things that we have to look at and comes to the fore in any war is strategy. Strategy. Let us discuss the PNM's strategy in this war that has been declared against the THE and by extension Tobago. Well,
Pastor Baines, it's from where I sit, it's a multifaceted approach. Of course, their first strategy is to vilify every member of the THA. We are all corrupt and thieves and crooks, apparently.
Yes.
They are as clean as a whistle.
Yes.
But it goes bigger than that. If you look, and I just want to focus more so on the infrastructure part, because I'm sure other secretaries will come on and focus on their areas.
Yes.
But if you look at what has happened since we've come to office, we've tried to turn around the quarry. One of the first actions the government took was to attempt to stop the transport of bitumen on the vessel between Trinidad and Tobago. We had to call them out. There were news conferences going back and forth. They withdrew that course of action, and it reverted to what it always was. Then they came to Tobago with the licensing officers. No communication, no consultation, no minister calling to say, well, listen,
yes.
Let's discuss what's happening in Tobago with these accidents and see how we can strategize to do it, even if the commission, the Transport Commissioner is acting supposedly independently, which nobody believes.
Right.
No discussion at the political level. And we saw what happened in Tobago. Almost $1 million in tickets handed out, taken out of the Tobago economy, taken out of disposable income of Tobagonians, lost of the multiplier effect in Tobago. Then we came to the quarry, apparently coining an action on someone refusing the Prime Minister's visit to the quarry, a visit that was never highlighted. Actually, the Minister of Works, with a team from the with correspondence from the PS of Works, wanted to visit the quarry, and that decision was communicated to the Chief Ad and so on, and that never came through. The Prime Minister, after the fact, is suggesting that he was in Tobago and he wanted to come, and we refused because he was supposed to be there. This is the Prime Minister being Prime Minister since 2015. Not once when the PNM was in office that the Prime Minister made a visit to the quarry. Not once, and I could go further than that. This is a situation that comes after the bills that the PNM sent up to Tobago. One of the clauses in those bills, I don't remember, no, I didn't plan to talk about this, but it just comes to mind. One of the clauses in those bills suggests that the government of Trinidad should be able to use and to take and to purchase and to acquire any land in Tobago for the use of the government. And I am beginning to think that it's really the quarry they were speaking about. That the intent was to promise us, guarantee us 6% and take the quarry as they see fit. And we you know, I could think of no other piece of land in Tobago that not the state but the government will want to take control of, other than the Stolly Park Enterprises Limited. And so Tobagonians are seeing this pattern of action. We come to the project that we have an injunction on, which I have to be careful how I speak about it. But what the facts are, there are countless projects in Trinidad that have been started by the government that have not yet have CEC. Countless projects that CEC are applied for late in Trinidad and in Tobago. The EMA has never issued an injunction to stop one government project. So not under the PNM in Tobago, under the PNM in Trinidad, nor under the UNC in Trinidad.
Right. Because I know for a fact that there have been projects in Tobago that have gone ahead without the EMA's intervention and without the requisite permissions and so on. So I am not leaning. I am fully persuaded that is part of this whole warfare to use state agencies as well.
Absolutely.
Annexed to the first of all trying to vilify the officials.
Yes.
You understand? Because that is one of the things that I wanted to talk about too. And we couple that with some of the other things that represent the strategy in this whole war. Because, and you made the point earlier about, for years it's in their playbook that they demonize the officials, you know, and they use any means necessary to do that. Well, of course, now in this modern time, one of the more prominent tools they are using now is fake profiles. and I'm gonna ask the directors to just put up this picture on the screen for us. These represent a number of fake profiles that have been used, you know, to attack officials. The cowardice of face profiles is what gets up under my skin. You understand? Because you could put up a fake profile, you could say all kinds of nasty things about a person. You can say somebody worse, you can say libelous things and so on. And it apparently gives you some coverage, you know, and you put these things out in the public, you put them out constantly. Every time there is like a show like this tonight, I am sure that there are a few here. You know, every time the government is doing something and so on. So that's one of the strategies that they have been using to constantly put this use these profiles to plant negative seeds in the minds of the population. The question I want to ask you, Secretary James, do you think that in the Tobago space that this particular strategy to demonize officials have outlived its usefulness?
Well, you know, we came out of an election back then in the PDP. The attempt was made on Mr. Duke, and I think we surrounded Mr. Duke well and strengthened him, and it did not work.
Yes.
We've seen it now with Mr. Augustine, and we will do the same. And thankfully, Thankfully, we have a young leader that has the energy to withstand this barrage, that no doubt, mental barrage especially, that no doubt will come his way. And older secretaries like ourselves will be standing in a breach to protect him. I think the population is maturing. I think the population is seeing clearly that this is more a struggle for Tobago autonomy than it is a struggle to build roads and drains and pave holes.
Right.
I think the population wants us to stand up and resist. But they want us to do it strategically so that we can still deliver.
Right.
So I don't think the fake profiles will get anywhere. I think we are growing past that. I think the time will come when they will be identified properly.
Right.
And we will find a way to point them out to the public.
Right.
So that people who are behind these nastiness can be identified in Tobago. I don't think that it will be successful.
Right. One of the things as well, that one of the tools is in this warfare as well for me is the use of I had it in my mind is that they have a kind of economic war. You understand? So the issues of course, the funding issue is one. What you just mentioned with the chief administrator and the ripple effect of that, and so on. So that, to my mind, and also some of the other developmental things that we're doing and so on. The knowledge is that resource is critical to where we're trying to go.
Yeah.
You understand? Critical. And the speed at which this administration is trying to move is almost like people just get jumpy that this group of all us neophytes.
Where they come from, what they're planning to do.
Yes. You know what they're trying to play.
Yeah.
You understand? And I think it is obviously because we have lived in Tobago and we've seen the potential of Tobago and so on, and we are very innovative as well. You understand? Let me hear your thoughts on that.
Well, Pastor Baines, we in Tobago, we have sat back for years and was content on running a dependency syndrome in Tobago, on developing and having it entrenched in the society. Where some kind of voter bank can be developed. We have come on, and we, certainly through the Division of Infrastructure, attempted to show Tobago a glimpse of what was really possible. When we undertook the road in the back here, we wanted to find a way to execute something so quickly that Tobagonians understood that what they were supporting and waiting and hoping for in 20 years could have been done in record time. And we did that. And you know what came out of that? A road that was on the books under the PNM for $30-something million. We executed it for $19+ million. And they still complained. They orchestrated for the Auditor General to come to Tobago and leave out all those years from 2016 to now, to audit 2021 to 2022. And what they found was only issues under the PNM. All the talk of procurement through the Division of Infrastructure and so on, all the auditors found were issues related to projects tendered and executed under the PNM in the last half of calendar 2022.
Yeah. Wow.
And so the warfare that they hope to develop from possible talk through a management letter from the Auditor General did not materialize.
Right.
And so they backed away.
Right.
So that now we went down to friendship, and again in record time that road would have been completed. And so they had to stop it.
Yes.
Because if we deliver things that they could not deliver in years, as the Chief Secretary would have said, from Robinson to Dennis, the Donkey Cart Road.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so Tobagonians are coming to the realization that the country is being led by a group of people who have decided to put Tobago first.
Yes.
And who will do things for the benefit of the whole of Tobago and not for the few people who have been crimming away the resources orchestratedly through the Executive Council for their own personal benefit.
You know, as you talk about the road, and we go to a break shortly, and we'll pick it back up. I want to ask the director to put up a short video that I just we kind of have there. This issue about roads and the costs, as you mentioned. What you are seeing on this video here is a road in the constituency of Bethlehem, New Grange. It is in Bethlehem, actually, a place we call Sesame Street. I know the road well. And this road is a necessary road. The road is necessary. It was a dead end before. People that lived inside of there had issues with the garbage disposal because garbage trucks there was no place to turn around if you go wrong in that road. So the philosophy of having a road is a good one and was a good one. However, this is one of the roads that the Chief Secretary in his statement mentioned, that the value of this road is $1.9 million, right? But this road, the past regime paid $15 million for this road, right? And we have to have a conversation about opportunity cost. We have to have a conversation about what we could have done with $13 million.
Well, Pastor Baines, if you think this is bad,
but I know
tonight,
yes.
I will show how the Executive Council under Mr. Ansel Dennis corruptly took away hundreds of millions of dollars from the Tobago economy and gave it soul selecting to a few contractors.
Right. This is interesting.
So Sesame Street is chicken feed, as they say, to the reality of what has gone on since 2020. Since 2020, when Ansel Dennis became Chief Secretary, I am beginning to think that this move to get rid of Kelvin Charles was to find someone
that they could control,
with whom they could plan to take the money out of Tobago.
I mean, say what you want about Mr. Kelvin Charles, say what you want about him, but he was a man, from what I have heard, even from testimonies while he was at education, that he was doing some innovative things, and so he was a man that had certain principles, and apparently, some of the things that may have appeared to be norms and forms, he was against some of those things, and we saw the way he was treated and so on and pushed out, and that is something for useful conversation as well.
Indeed,
you know,
indeed,
and the things that ensued thereafter, right? I think we coming up on a break, and we have to continue. This promises to be a very juicy conversation going forward.
Absolutely.
Dripping with useful information.
Absolutely.
All right. So we'll take a break, and we'll come back.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your
Jimmy's Holiday Resorts has 1, 2, and 3 bedroom fully self-contained apartments located at the heart of Crown Point. Minutes walk to the popular beaches, restaurants, bars, and the airport. Enjoy our amazing amenities such as fully equipped apartments, complete with Wi-Fi, AC, TV, and a pool, and a mini-mart on the compound. Call 639-8292 or 8929. Jimmy's Holiday Resorts is your family family's home away from home.
Dear valued members, the TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited 73rd Annual General Meeting Tobago Update will take place on Sunday, 25th of June 2023 from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Grafton Beach Resort, Tobago. All members are invited to attend. Please remember to register. Thank you.
Right now, Tobagonians are just scurrying down to Bonaccord, right in Stobie Local Road. You know why? To come down and shop at Authentic Builders General Hardware, the only hardware store in Tobago that is giving you guys Trinidad prices. So for instance, such as steel, half-inch and 5/8, $7,895. 5/8 construction ply for $260. Every single thing that you will need to do your home renovation or start your new construction, we have it right here. And to get your quotation, it's very easy. Just WhatsApp us at 272-1990 and we will do your free WhatsApp quotation for you.
Viewers, welcome back. And in case you're now joining us, this is Full Disclosure Season 2. And we are having a very useful conversation in my view. And I trust that the information is of benefit to you thus far. And that you should remember to share your live experience with somebody. We are trying to put the information in the space for every person. I am one who believes that the more you are informed, the better you are able to perform. So our theme tonight is war against the THA, war against Tobago. And we started out talking about some of the strategies that have been used, are being used in this war. So we're moving now to talk about the soldiers in the war. Because everyone needs soldiers. You understand? You have this strategy, but you need soldiers to carry out the strategy. And I want to defer to you, Secretary James, because you seem to have a comprehensive grip of the recruitment process and some of the soldiers that were drafted.
Pastor Baines,
Yes.
I think there is a need to explain to the Tobago public how the Executive Council works.
Right.
The Executive Council considers notes from secretaries who head divisions. Notes come before the council and are discussed, deliberated upon, and the council either agrees with the notes or disagree with the notes.
Right.
But the Executive Council is headed by the Chief Secretary.
Right.
And every note that turns into a minute that makes the note policy has to be signed off on by the Chief Secretary.
Yes.
So that the Chief Secretary, who has veto powers, must sign the notes and send them to the legislature so that they can prepare the minutes that are converted into policy that are sent back to the various divisions for action. Now, so the role of the Chief Secretary in the approving of Executive Council notes that are converted into minutes is critical.
Sure.
And without the approval of the Chief Secretary, no note could in fact be converted to a minute.
Right.
I dare say that the Executive Council can be the Chief Secretary alone.
Because he has veto power.
Well, not only that, the access that the council could be the Chief Secretary and 7 other secretaries as he may choose fit.
Okay.
But it must be the Chief Secretary.
Right.
So other secretaries participating in the council is at the will of the chief secretary. The chief secretary can decide to have 1 or 2, but he can't have more than 7.
Gotcha.
All right? So the chief secretary is the executive council. So when notes are agreed on, it is the chief secretary who has ultimate responsibility
Right.
for disapproval. I'm trying to go slowly. People complain I go too slowly, but I'm trying to go slowly.
Yeah.
So if in 2019, the executive council considered a note from the Division of Infrastructure and Environment, Quarries and the Environment, for a road resurfacing program to source money for this program. And the executive council agreed, and if the programmer, the director can put that slide up, that first slide. This is in November 2019.
Who was the chief secretary then?
The chief secretary by this time was the most honorable Mr. Ansel Dennis. And he agreed.
Yeah, I was tempted to say someone honorable.
No. I have to give the man his colonial title. He agreed.
Right. No. So the chief secretary at this time.
At this time.
Right.
They had thrown out Kelvin Charles already.
Right. So this is Mr. Ansel Dennis is in the driver's seat.
He is the one who is talking corruption today.
Yes. That is why I wanted to reaffirm this thing.
This is in November. This is in May 29th, 2019. They agreed to assign $110 million to the road resurfacing program in May of 2019.
Okay.
If we go to the next slide, slide 2, by November 2020, this is now 2 months before the election, 2 months and 2 months and 10 or 9 days before the election of January 25th, 2021.
Right.
The chief secretary approved an additional $184 million. And if you read item 4, the chief secretary is saying that he's agreed to a supplemental funding to be made available in the sum of $99 million, VAT inclusive, to meet the shortfall generated as a result of budgetary allocation of $0. So this is the chief secretary saying that the government in Trinidad, the Minister of Finance, sent $0 for this program, and that he is saying that the Secretary of Finance will find the funding from wherever.
Right.
Now, in 2020, the development budget to the Division of Infrastructure is again less than $75 million. But this is in the middle of COVID. And available during that time was this revolving loan facility that the THA could have drawn down this $300 million.
Right.
So he's saying, listen, we can commit this money with nothing in the budget. An additional $184 million. Critical to this, of course, is the next slide. In January 2021, 2 months after,
Right.
2 months after November 2020, same chief secretary is saying to the country that we are now going to approve an additional $85 million. That the $294 million that they just approved last year was not enough. They found it not to be enough 2 months after, and they're going to now assign another $85 million to this program. So apparently, somewhere between Christmas and January, the money ran out, and they now, through the Division of Infrastructure, had to come back to the Executive Council for an additional $85 million.
So in total, we're talking about, this is in a 4 to 6 months span, yes?
Yes.
Right. So, and the grand total.
Well, we've not finished yet.
Okay.
When you add this to the 294, and we are coming to $380 million that they have decided to expend in that short period of time, with an election that is 5 days away. This is January 20th.
Right. Yes.
And I want to be able to understand, this is January 20th.
And the election was
January 25th.
25th. Yes.
They've decided to commit and to assign contracts to a few Tobago contractors who they call bonded contracts on a sole select basis. If you go to the next slide, on a sole select basis, if you go to the slide on the right, item number 2, Mr. Dennis is saying that he's granting approval for the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and the Environment to sole select suitable qualified firms from the Assembly's pool of pre-registered contractors. No tender, no anything, sole select them. And if you look at the dates, I didn't want to do this, but if you look at the dates on these 2 minutes, they are both the same date, November 4th. They are 1 minute after each other. Minute number 421 and minute number 423, 2 minutes apart. The Executive Council is sitting on the same day and considering $99 million in 1 minute, in one note.
Yes.
And 167 plus 70, $150 something million in a next note, and approving them both on the same day for the same program.
Wow.
And deciding to give the administrator of the Infrastructure Division and the staff there the authority to sole select. These are the same people who are today saying to us, and saying to the people of Tobago, leave the Farley and his friends and come back to the PNM.
Right.
Come back to the PNM so we could perpetuate this evil again. The chief talked about today of him presenting the preliminary results of the audit in the House, and his desire not to present the final audit in the House. But in the preliminary audit that he presented then, what came out of that is that several contracts were paid for under Mr. Dennis. Several contracts were paid for that were not executed. You know what it means?
Yes.
I want to be able to understand what it means,
Yes.
It means that somebody in the Division of Infrastructure set out to do an engineer's estimate to predetermine what these projects would be.
Right.
Then they decided among themselves, I'm going to select Baines and James. Well, not Baines and James, but they're going to select whomever they want.
Right.
So select them.
Yes.
Assign them the contract.
Yes.
Without tender, without description, without specification, without any clause in our contract to say we can vary this, we can extend it. Nothing like that. Just what's the one in Bethel? Pave this road.
Yes.
And
Street.
the Sesame Street is one.
Yes.
But the whole of Bethel, New Grange,
Yes.
50-something contracts handed to one contractor in one day
Yes.
to pave all of these roads without specification,
Right.
without distance, without
Yes.
measurements,
Yes.
without anything.
Yes, yes, yes.
And
Yes.
Mr. Dennis
Yes,
has the audacity
yes.
to talk about who is corrupt
Yeah, man. You call that unmitigated gall, man.
and who is uncorrupt,
Mm-hmm.
and asking Tobagonians to come back. Come back to what?
Mm-hmm.
The Division of Infrastructure is the repository of this information that formed the basis of this audit. And when I was home with COVID,
Yes.
I asked the then administrator to send me all of these reports on these programs. So I have an email, all this information, which I have been going through systematically and creating my own analysis from them. And what I can say to the people of Tobago, which I'll present, maybe if Pastor Baines invite me back for another round, what I will present to the people of Tobago is that from 2020 to 2022 December election, the PNM government committed over $600 million, mostly by sole select, to a few contractors. They don't understand this, $600 million. When we were growing up, we had a show on TV called the $6 Million Man. I think Mr. Dennis.
Is it $6 million, man?
No, the $600 million man.
Yeah.
And they expect that we would sit, after we met with the Prime Minister, heard Minister Kojo said, nothing will change. Things will go on as they were, speaking bravely. And they expect that we would just sit back and say, hey, what's going on, man? Let's just continue the way we were.
Right.
We could never do that to people.
Yeah.
We just cannot do that. And I want to charge Tobago not to ever even consider going back to this, because when you do, if you do, and you think things are bad now, this evil will be multiplied 10 times.
Yes.
And that is what we have to face. And so we are grappling as a administration with this mountain of debt. And the chief has decided to come up with a strategy that he will pay and we will pay consequent to the audit what the audit says we will do.
Right. Value for money.
And we have in fact demonstrated that we will do that. Compare that to what has happened in Trinidad. When the PNM won in 2015, there are several contractors who owed monies that the PNM decided that they will not pay. They had their own audit. They still decided they won't pay. Persons took them to court, won the matter in court. The PNM decided he will not pay. They won the appeal. The PNM decided that he will not pay. The EMBD fiasco that happened under the UNC, the PNM decided they will not pay. The contractors went to court. The court decided that they will reduce the claim from, I think, $1.2 billion to $400 million. Won the matter. Up to today, the PNM and the PM decided they're not paying. And they dung on the chief secretary for doing the honorable thing. To say, hey, what's going on, man? We have to prove these invoices. And once the invoices come back and through the audit process, we will begin to pay based on the resources that we have.
Right.
And people in Tobago are still saying that we are bad and we are evil. Tobago people.
Yes. Because we have to expand, annex to what you say, because based on what you have just shared with us, it is safe to say that Mr. Ansel Dennis is one of the lieutenants in the war against Tobago.
He is not a lieutenant anymore.
Yeah.
He is the guy who the PNM hand-selected for the position of chief secretary to perpetrate this evil.
Yes. And
he's the guy who did that. They hand-selected him. He was the juniors of junior members, and they hand-selected him, specifically, in my opinion, to perpetrate this evil on the people of Tobago. And he wants to come back now to say, what? Vote for us?
Yeah.
To do what?
And the thing that is numbing to me is that this is the man that is attacking everybody, attacking everybody's credibility, attacking them, and he's like the Megatron of the the PNM Decepticons. You know, you are a Transformer man.
Yeah,
you understand?
but not really.
Yeah. And the public must be aware of this man that is standing and making and pontificating as if he is this angel.
Well, I'm told somebody is now texting me that after all this, he's driving to Prado. So I don't know if that person is correct, but I just received that text that the man has 2 Prado, and let me just read it. He has 2 Prado, and he's going to build a mansion in Salmon Grove. This is the man. This is the man.
We need to take a break. We need to take a break, viewers, and we'll come back and continue to expand on this, because we have to talk about some other soldiers that are in this war against the THA and against you and I, the people of Tobago.
Everybody only worrying. Never ever worry. Don't mind how things looking hard. I tell them never ever worry. If your life can't get damaged bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. Don't mind if life make you sad. I tell them never ever worry. If your house get flooded out real bad. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil is always right here for you. I tell them never ever worry. If sickness catch you off guard. I tell them never ever worry. If times fall on you real hard. I tell them never ever worry. What I'm saying is true. So just consider Tatil will always be here for you. Never worry about a thing. Tatil, where people are people. You know what I mean.
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported. Dear valued members, the TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited 73rd Annual General Meeting Tobago Update will take place on Sunday, 25th of June 2023, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Grafton Beach Resort, Tobago. All members are invited to attend. Please remember to register. Thank you.
Viewers, welcome back. In case you're now joining us, this is Full Disclosure Season 2, and I am chatting with Secretary James, Secretary for Infrastructure, Quarries, and the other stuff.
Urban development.
Urban development. And our theme tonight, I mean, is a sobering one. All of you are aware of what is taking place on the political landscape. The administration has been under the gun, and everybody seems to be coming out of the woodwork to attack this, attack the administration. In fact, from the word go, from the word go. But there seems to have been an intensifying of that in more recent times. And we are talking now, we talked about the strategy in the warfare. We're talking now about the soldiers. And Secretary James has just given us some information identifying Mr. Anthony Dulles as a principal in this war because of what he presided over, what he gave blessings to.
Indeed.
Right? So he cannot be exonerated from this matter.
Indeed.
You understand?
Indeed.
He cannot be exonerated from, and the public must know this thing. This is the man that is mounting these platforms across Tobago, calling this one that and calling that one that and all of that. This man has no moral authority to talk anything about corruption anywhere on the landscape. But Secretary James, annexed to Mr. Dennis and we'll have to talk on Mr. Devines has to be in this as well as the secretary. You understand? Absolutely, he has to be in this as well. And he's another man that was selected. You know, he was a kind of situational selectee.
Well, I actually, you know, after the first election, I wondered why they kept Mr. Devine on.
I too.
And trying their best to hold on to power. But after we won and I was beginning to get these reports, I began to see, and I will not be surprised if he's one of those fake profiles. I'm beginning to see the enormity of the corruption, the enormity of the hugeness of the plan to rob the people of Tobago. To present a situation where if they lost, the incoming government could not operate with no money. And if they won, the government in Trinidad would give them the money to pay.
Right. Because there's a vested interest across the waters.
Well, absolutely.
Yes.
I mean, there are people in high offices who make telephone calls and who have business partners with contractors. And so, of course, they have vested interest across the waters.
Yes.
And all of Tobago know this.
Yes, we know a significant amount of contractors from Trinidad who have been operating in the Tobago space and all of that, and have been the beneficiaries of some of these.
Oh, that's for another program.
Right.
We will list out all the contractors outside from Tobago who operated in Tobago during that 2017.
We'll have to make sure and tag Kelvin Morris when we talking that. We have to. No, we have to.
He doesn't exist for me. He's insignificant.
But
sure, we can tag him. But one comes to mind, you know. There's a company that did that project at the foot of Bay Hill in King Peter Bay Road. There is that project where they built that slope protection out of a new system of gabion basket system. They had done a proposal as well to protect the other side of the slope and to build that same road that we did. When I got to office, that proposal was there. And that was a plan that the PNM had apparently as well. Mr. Pollard came to me and said, listen, these people have been struggling. I think all of Tobago saw the video we put out. That the man was there since Flora Blue and all of that. Walking these 100 steps up the hill, more than 150 steps. And we looked at it and we decided, we could fix that, right? And so this proposal was there, price and all that. If I'm not mistaken, for $27 million plus VAT. So okay, we looked at it and the staff looked at it and we said, okay, let's see whether we can get a better price. And we went to the gentleman to get a better price. And the price increased from $27 to $31 million. And so we went out and we secured that job for below $25 million. And this is the same guy. Who is Trinidadian, who has connections, I think.
We meet him here.
We have connections to high-ranking officials in the government as well. Been operating here in Tobago for years. And they come to Tobagonians and complain because we have one contractor or two contractors from Trinidad. And somehow we're giving away the money. Because we must gave the PNM Big 7.
Yes. Yes.
Nothing could be so crazy to tell somebody
Evil.
that this is what you must do. And if you don't, stand opposition for everything that you do.
Yes.
Create all the noise, create all the conversation, all the talk.
Yes.
Mash up the place. Don't send no money. Don't send the money late.
Yes.
You know, they're talking about law and order and stuff. Not once since we've been in office have we gotten the quarterly money up front. Not once.
No, I was making the point earlier that seeing that everybody coming out of the woodwork, but there's been a proliferation in more recent times of those antagonists and people calling intellectuals, people from Chamber of Commerce, what we may deem respected officials in the Tobago space, calling for the government to resign, for calling for elections rather, calling for the chief secretary to resign and so on. And I believe that some of these, because I consider them soldiers too, I consider them soldiers in the war, right? Some of them may have willingly been enlisted and some perhaps not, although, you understand, some may
not know that they've been recruited.
Yeah.
The PNM are skillful like that, you know.
Exactly.
They can recruit you without you knowing.
But I began to think, these minds that are calling the people of Tobago elected a government, elected these officials. These minds are calling for a fresh election. But you get the sense that they are saying these people here no longer have the credibility or the only next organization that is ready to take power in the Tobago space is the PNM.
Yes.
So in essence, what they are doing, all the voices that are calling for fresh election are actually calling to bring back the PNM. That is what they're doing.
That is what it is. They want to make null and void the democratic right of the people of Tobago who voted a few months back. And you have to watch these people to ask whether they want democracy or not. I mean, I'm not here tonight to discuss the voice note or anything like that. But we have put in the public space clear information.
Yes.
That says to the public that we've completed an audit. We've decided we would pay based on the audit. That the chief secretary was sent a video with a threat that if he didn't pay this money, this $60 million, that the video will be released. Suddenly, after the video is in the possession of the head of the government in Tobago, high-ranking officials from Trinidad calls the chief and says to him, listen, we will send you $100 million and we are requesting or asking, instructing, whichever word they use, for you to pay 60 to this contractor. In my mind, that seems to me to be somebody telling the chief secretary that you must pay this extortion.
Yes.
Because the chief is on record before that to say that he will only pay percentages based on the results of the audit. And so nobody is talking about that.
But that is it. That is it.
And I want to ask the Tobagonians, who in the government in Trinidad and Tobago has the authority to send money to Tobago? Who? Who has the authority to call the chief to say, I am going to send you money, pay this?
Right.
Who are those people? There might be only two.
Right.
And I think that answer is clear.
Yeah. But the point you made there, Trevor, and that is the thing that has been gnawing at me. That here it is, you have invoices put in this public space, right? Information that there is extortion afoot, right? And these people, these prominent voices, say nothing about this. Nothing.
No, they have been bought.
Hook,
Nothing, line, and sinker.
They're still saying, let us prosecute this audio note. Nothing about people trying to extort money from the
I think the majority of Tobago understands this. But there is another side issue to this.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if I listen carefully enough, we are yet to receive monies for the last quarter of the financial year.
Mm-hmm.
The media review took place after this 100 million was sent.
Mm-hmm.
And so this 100 million was sent before the media review. It's only through the media review could the allocation be increased.
Right.
And so somehow the government in Trinidad found a way to send monies that seem to be far and above what the disbursement should be at that time.
Yeah.
That is another issue that the public must think through.
Yes.
Whether in fact there was this intent to send money outside of the allocation process to pay this bill. This is another issue that I think needs a lot of ventilation and discussion, because it seems to me that there is a level of collusion that has been taking place between officials in Trinidad and contractors in Tobago to ensure that certain specific contractors are to be paid outside of the audit results. And to me, that is a mountain of something to discuss than the folly of a voice recording that has not been actioned. And so the people of Tobago who continue to try their best to push that narrative that the government should fall, that we should resign, and we should somehow trigger a new election. The people of Tobago have seen clearly this is just another attempt by the PNM and their followers and their charges whom they may have paid.
They're soldiers, man.
Whom they may have paid to do this work, to nullify the democratic right of the people of Tobago to choose a government that is not PNM.
Yes. And this is why tonight the war is not just against the THA, the war that is upon us is against the people of Tobago. And we need to take a break, Secretary James. This is our final break, and we will come back and go a little further. Stay with us.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your...
You can now get whatever you need whenever you need it anywhere in Tobago with Tapago. Your meals, medication, groceries, and shopping all delivered directly to you. No more hassle, no more stress. Get the Tapago app today on Google Play or Apple App Store.
That's TAPPOGO, and let us deliver to you.
Check our website at www.tapogo.app or call the experts at 494-TOGO and 484-4746. Tapago. Relax. We will get it to you. Tapago's at your service.
The best place to stay in Tobago is at Thorn's Place, with rates starting as low as 200 TT. Call or WhatsApp 745-7306 or 682-8676. We are located uptown Scarborough, 5 minutes away from the port. Remember, at Thorn's Place, our aim is to make your stay safe and affordable.
Welcome back, viewers, as we get into the final segment of our program tonight. If you are now joining us, Full Disclosure Season 2, and I've been guesting with us tonight is Secretary James, and we've been ventilating some issues that are relevant to the present conversation, the present state of affairs, the war that is afoot, war against the THA, war against the people of Tobago, and so on. We started out discussing the strategy, and we've expanded on that. We also started talking about some of the soldiers in the war. And I know the Prime Minister was the general. Who's the general, and it was told to me about, the Prime Minister is a very abrasive speaker. That's who he is, and people love him, and I have always had a respect for the office. You understand? I've always had respect for the office, but he comes to Tobago and calls people names like imps and these kinds of things, and you understand? He uses, like, he is the only man that is given this kind of pass to say what he wants about people, call him whatever names he wants. You understand?
Pastor Baines, you're correct, This Prime Minister, I don't know how he does it. This man is on record to have been telling some of the biggest lies in this country. Without any action.
No reprimand.
This man shut down petrol train. This man is on record to be insinuating that because he from a village next to Leketo, that a former prime minister was sick on his deathbed. This man, and he's still prime minister.
Yes. And the thing about it is that he spoke some things there in Kolawol, and people take it hook, line, and sinker that this is the truth. That the people have come to the country, that the chief secretary is a liar, and this man is telling the truth.
But you see one of the things that our supporters have to be aware of is that when the PNM is in opposition, their campaign is built on lies. I mean, we sat back all and remember Email Gate.
Yes.
All based on lies. They won an election because they were able to build up a lie for 2 years leading up to an election through Email Gate. That's what the PNM does. And I think there are some people who feel that we shouldn't go toe-to-toe, we shouldn't respond, or we should go high. We have examples of that, of political parties attempting to go high when the PNM go low and lose. Because they control a large section of the media, and now with social media, they have the money, clearly, to pay people to be online. And so our supporters have to accept and come to the realization that a group of us must go toe-to-toe with the PNM. Because if these lies are to take root in Tobago, it's more difficult to change that perception that people have. And so I'm appealing to the supporters and say, listen, the war that we thought we won on December 6th, that was the beginning of the real battle.
That's just a battle.
That was the beginning of the thing. If we need to take Tobago and move Tobago and transform Tobago in the way we've envisioned it, we have to continue that fight day in, day out. We at the administrative level, we are doing our best. We at the division that I am honored to lead, we have created more than 1,300 temporary jobs since we've been in office. That is more than the PNM has ever done in a 4-year period. More than 1,300 temporary jobs. We have increased, we have targeted those who are most vulnerable of the workers. We've increased, double their salary for European workers. So all this talk, we have been on the business of making sure we are fulfilling our mandate pledges, and we will continue to so do. We need our supporters and all right-thinking Tobagonians as we hopefully later this year launch our full autonomy campaign, that we stay grounded and know that it is only through autonomy that you can benefit, that your children can benefit in this great island that we have. We are blessed to have resources all around us, on land and in sea. And we have to finally stand up and say, listen, there is need for an equal share of these resources.
Yes.
There is need for
well,
that.
as you say that, I come to my final point.
Yes.
Because in any war, you have strategy, you have soldiers, and you have spoils. So we have to, right. So let's talk about the spoils. What it is the PNM is after. Let's talk about that.
I've always said, you know, this whole battle for Tobago is a battle for energy resources. There is a reason why the law says through the parliament that guarantees only 2 votes, that the law says that you can have administrative authority over 6 miles. There's a reason for that. At 8 miles, we have rigs.
Right.
At 11 miles, we have Poinsettia. At 25 to 35 miles, we have Calypso. At 15 miles off Charlottesville, we have Block 22. We are surrounded by resources that we could begin to monetize today.
Right.
And the idea has always been from Port of Spain. When Robinson came back in 71, 72 and said we had energy resources, I think it's the same Prime Minister who called it castor oil. The same duck pond that he talked about. Up to today, he's focusing on wanting to build a port in Toco and the next one in San Fernando. They built one in Guayari. They have one in Galeota. And they bring in Trinidad with ports. But against the development of a port in Tobago. And Tobagonians have to wake up and understand that this battle is not about the details of whether a road was built or a drain is built. This is a battle for jurisdictional control of energy resources that is being posited in the public by a parliament that is against us, that we could never change, and says to us, hey, you could only administer this and you could only administer that. There's a reason why Eric Williams back in the 70s coined this unitary state foolishness. We don't have a unitary state, and we have to understand what it means. And we have to begin to say, listen, let's support a indigenous Tobago organization led by a young man.
Right.
And let's understand how things develop. All the people who have transformed countries, who have caused change to occur, were young men.
Yeah.
Not people my age. Not people Pastor Baines' age. They were young men.
Speak for yourself. but yes, I mean, and I think, I mean, I am of the view, we've seen in other jurisdictions around the world that when people try to become independent, and when we say independent, run your own affairs, you know, have your own dream and goals and so on and that kind of thing. And it is always a fight for that to take place.
Absolutely.
You understand? It is always a fight for that because, you know, and that's why when I start thinking in my mind about spoils, is that Tobago has always been a playground, as it were, for the PNM, for you know, as if we should not have ambitions to be great.
Yeah.
You understand? You know, we shouldn't. Who this young group to say that we want Tobago to be the best little island on the planet and so on, and we will find a way. And even if you try to stymie our resource, we will become innovative and we will find a way to get the job done. You understand? And so
they cannot afford, Pastor Baines, for us to show Tobagonians what Tobago can be. And so this battle, this intensification, this intensifying of this opposition,
yes,
it is because we are at the brink,
yes,
in Tobago of toppling this evil from Trinidad.
Yes.
That has been against us. We are at the brink.
Yes.
And we need our supporters to keep pushing us up. Push us up that greasy pole to the prize.
Yes.
Because the prize is Tobago for you and your children,
yes,
and your diaspora who can't come home.
Yes.
Who are suffering in the cold and in the winter and want to come home but can't because the opportunities are not there, all the opportunities are in Trinidad. I mean, how is it possible that between 2016 and now, the Ministry of Works in Trinidad has received more than $20 billion? How is that possible? More than $20 billion. I mean, that is close to the whole allocation for all of Tobago. How can we build? We are struggling to do a solution for Bad Rock that we could build, one for Castara that we could build. We just can't find the money to do it. Why aren't we advocating for an equal share of this resource? Why? Why are we accepting 4.0% when the law says 6.9? Why are PNM people not joining with us and say, as of today, the law says 6.9, we need 6.9, and we need more than that, because you didn't pay us all the money for all them years that you've been thieving the money in Trinidad and then paying it. We need you to give us. Why did not join with us? Why?
I think when we talk about spoils, you know, you have to put selfishness in the mix, you know, and that may be one of the reasons. I mean, and also the possibility of having to face litigation and so on for some of the things that have been done based on the information that is coming out.
Yep.
You understand? And there are some people in this space don't want to interfere with their money.
Well,
you understand what I'm saying?
You know,
they don't care. They don't care about. They don't like you know, the minority leader like have this mantra about poor people, supportive of a regime that have been doing these things that is coming out, and he talking about poor people. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the kind of monies that these people have raped the Tobago treasury.
There is a kind of shamelessness that's taking over the PNM, you know, where they can turn a blind eye to all they have done, and come to the public, put on some white clothes or some red clothes, and say, listen, we are the best thing for you, you know. Forget what them people talking. We ain't do that, you know.
Right.
Look at what they're doing now. The evil of the PNM is not in the things that they have done, you know. It's in the things that they have been planning to do. They have been planning to take everything they can out of Tobago for use in Trinidad. When Robinson contrived to build that little airport and the Deepwater Harbor here to bring some little economy to Tobago, it is the PNM in Trinidad that orchestrate, that worked with, that supported behind the scenes those who wanted to kill Robinson, those who almost succeeded. This is not new, you know. Every time a Tobagonian stands up to the PNM, the PNM wants to kill them. That's what it is. They want to kill them. The Prime Minister would say, politically at the end of
that. But I agree with you that there must be a clarion call that goes out to the people of Tobago. That in this administration is the administration that you elected into office. The evidence is before you. See the work that has been done at supersonic speed. And still we strap for resources and so on, but work is going on. I mean, when you compare the past administration in terms of timelines and what we have been able to accomplish, there is just no comparison. Certainly we're not perfect. You understand? We are in an environment where the expectations of the people of the island are abnormal. When I say abnormal, and I mean by that, we have to put COVID and those things in the mix that really impact the population in a way that, you know, that we could not prepare for. So you have high expectations and so on. But the truth of the matter is the organization, the government is doing its best to try and bring the kind of governance that this island deserves. Absolutely. At a time like this.
Absolutely.
In our history and our development.
Absolutely.
And so we are calling upon you to stand with us in this war. What the PNM is trying to do is not just a war against Trevor James and Terrence Baines and Farley Chavez Augustine and Faith B. Israel. It is a war against you and your children and your patrimony. A chosen few of people have been milking the resources of Tobago. And the evidence is there. And we must stand against it. We must not allow this to succeed. And this is the call that goes out to those of you in Tobago that are concerned about the future of Tobago, that are concerned about the advancement of Tobago, that are concerned about the expansion of Tobago, that are concerned that Tobago can become, in fact, the greatest little island on the planet. And we have to band together to get. We must not allow these individuals that have been the perpetrators of some of the most corrupt acts on this island to come to us in the public and come in the public and act like they are these prima donnas.
Brother Pastor Baines, let me tell you, the people of Tobago, we are standing at a crossroads, and if we make the right choice, we succeed.
Mm-hmm.
If we make the wrong choice, we fail, and we are doomed forever to be servants of the next Prime Minister who is unborn in Trinidad. We are at a place where finally, after two decades and a little bit, we finally have the opportunity to see Tobago where it can be and where we can go. The plans that we have developed as an administration, we begin to roll them out. We are well advanced with our City of Scarborough project. No doubt that will be another bacchanal and another fight to get it done. Notwithstanding that UDCOT sending proposals to build things as part of the proposal, while NITCO want to build a jetty to prevent the port from being built. But we are advanced, and I just want to appeal, as strongly and as fervently as I can, that we hold the fort in Tobago. We have employment challenges, no doubt. These are challenges that we've met. And we are, by our actions, working on seeing how we can have, low unemployment rates in Tobago. We need to find a place where every person in Tobago is able to live and take care of himself. I just heard a disturbing news before I came here of a gentleman in Kokowati who took his own life. Yeah. And I want to say condolences to his wife, whom I know, and left behind 3 or 4 children. We have to find a way when we identify one another who have challenges, financial or otherwise, that we reach out with that lend hand spirit again and support, and let's make an appeal to men especially who are finding it difficult to provide for their families and so on, that we develop the groups that support that and give people hope. I am inspired by the demand for services. I'm not overwhelmed. I'm inspired that people believe that finally their needs can be met. As part of being said, we are not perfect, but I believe we are on the right path. And we need the people to continue to stand firm with us and give us that buoyancy that is needed to go over the hill.
On that note, Secretary James, we're out of time. Listen, viewers, we want to thank you so much for joining us tonight on our first program in season 2. And we will be back again next week as we continue talking the issues and putting the information in the space. Thank you. I am our host, Terrence Baines. It's been a fantastic time of conversation. God bless you. Looking forward to seeing you again. Bye.